Hello, everybody. Today is September 15, Saturday. I would like to take this opportunity to apologize for my goddamn language. I didn't realize I was cursing so much, so for Christ's sake, I won't do it anymore. Victoria wants to say hello right now.
Hello.
Is that all you're going to say?
Yeah.
Yeah? This little kid's got mic fright like the most of you people did up at the farm. What we try and do is write a few notes ahead of time, try and answer your tape, and then give you a little bit of the news we have here.
Hello, everybody. Jack never did tell us how old he was, and I can't remember whether he's 51 or 52, but I think it's somewhere in around there. Let's see, he's 9 years older than I am approximately, and I'm 46. Whoops! I must be off a few years. I wouldn't tell my age either at that. Well, I've got a whole bunch of notes down here that in playing the tape through, as you've suggested, Mark, the second or third time, we caught up on a few things. Where in the world would Lynn stay out in Calgary? Did she graduate from high school this year? Is she going to go on to university? Do they have relatives there? Of course, I know a little about Marion's family that I really wouldn't know. Yes, I realize you people in your heat. It's a tremendous amount. Well, even though ours goes to a much higher degree than yours does, it's very dry here, and we don't notice the heat as much as you people do. But we haven't had rain since, when was it, last May? I would like very much to see a little bit of rain. As a matter of fact, it's due here next month in October. For Hulda's information, we didn't know she had a cassette. If hers is a Sony, it must be pretty much the same as ours, because that's exactly what we bought over here. I want to tell Kathleen, though, I really don't think that Donnie will mind if her foot hurt when she went to hear him sing. And I want her to know that I have heard that damn song of Donnie Osmond so many times on AFRTS, which is our local Armed Forces, American Armed Forces radio station. And we have practically the same song hits over here over the radio as you people do, and I'm absolutely ecstatic because in 10 days, it's 28 days of mourning over here, and all the radio stations are off, all the television stations are off. Everybody must go around with a long face, no smiling from 6 in the morning till 6 at night, no food from 6 in the morning till 6 at night, no water, no laughing, no music, no nothing.
Kathleen, what I'd like to know is, where did Ronnie Osborne come from anyhow? I've never heard of him before myself. Sandy, if you've got a Nova at 190 miles an hour, you would take a close second to the Iranian drivers. You really would. I don't believe you, number one, but number two, you'd take a close second. These people over here, you put an Iranian behind the wheel of an automobile, and it's just like putting a 7-year-old child behind the trigger of a .45 automatic machine gun. They go completely ape. They pass on blind corners going up the mountains. There's no way. You've got to experience this driving over here. They don't know how. Of course, they have 10 years ago, they were driving donkeys. Now they're driving automobiles. And they really don't know the difference yet, except for the horn. They use that a good deal. But Sandy, there ain't no way no Nova's going to do no 190 miles an hour, not even downhill. And I don't care if it's gold or not.
Hulda told us in her short but succinct letter she wrote us not too long ago, I don't know how anybody can get... Victoria, hush. I don't know how anybody can get so many facts into 14 lines as Hulda gets, but she seems to get everything in sentences 3 words long. I knew that Sandra was working 2 jobs this year and that Lynn had gone out west, but I thought she was working in Banff at Lake Louise. I didn't know that Kathleen was working. Her job sounds like my very first job that I worked one summer. I didn't count nuts and bolts, but I glued the fluter on Christmas cards all one summer, I remember. The fluter. That's that glittery stuff that, stuck all over Christmas cards.
I don't know how I got mixed up in this family at all. A fluter gluer and a nut and bolt counter. Sweet William, your daughter kind of gave you a hard time on the last tape about your new car, and mentioned something about driving into a bulldozer. I can understand that absolutely. After all, you need something large enough to see to drive into. What the hell? You can hit a lamp pole anytime, but a bulldozer is much more obvious. It's there. It's probably painted bright yellow and very, very easy to run into. I don't know what she was complaining about. I don't understand.
I just want to know one damn question, Billy Richardson. How the hell can a piper throw up good Scotch whiskey?
I've never heard of anything like that before in all my life. Scotch whiskey, throwing it up, throw it up. Now, what did Kathleen say? Threw it up? No. Throwed it up all behind the barn or some damn thing? No. There's no way. He's got to be one-armed. That's the only way. He could, one-armed piper, throwed it up. Kathleen, you caught a bass, and your girlfriend caught a bass. Good. However, we have just returned from a fishing trip in which I took photographs, and I intend to send some to you. And these are wild brook trout. Well, speckled trout, I guess. And I just want to show you what I caught, and I'm not going to explain it, I'm not going to say a word, I'm just going to send the photograph, and you can post it on the Legion Hall or wherever if you have the nerve. You know, bass are bass, but you should see these trout.
Listen, no fooling. We had just got back late yesterday from 3 days up in the Alborz Mountains at about 8,000 feet? Yeah. No snow or anything yet, but cold as a bugger at night. Hot through the day, but cold as a bugger at night. The most beautiful, primitive place. You could drive to within maybe a quarter of a mile, honey? A half a mile of the fishing camp. It's called Iran Safaris. And they provide everything. They have the tents there. They have cots with sheets and blankets and pillows. And they have a mess tent and serve you really good meals for camp meals. And everything has to be packed in either on your back or by donkeys. You can walk in and send what they call the bearers back for your luggage and this sort of thing. But unfortunately, not having any cars of our own over here, we had to rent transportation, which happened to be a minibus because there were 7 of us. And that would have meant either 2 cars or a minibus, and a minibus was less expensive when we figured it all out. So we carted our own in and damn near died because it's all uphill and it's a goat trail in. I mean, literally a goat trail. But about 3 miles further on from the fishing camp is a small village. There is no other way in but this goat trail. There are no cars. Most people don't even have a donkey or a horse, but there are a lot of donkeys and horses there because everything that they can't grow must be packed in, either on backs or on animals. And these people live there year-round. The snow is up to the yang in the wintertime, and I mean it's there 7 months of the year. What they do in the winter, I don't know, but they have an awful lot of young boys wandering around, so I can imagine what they do in the wintertime.
When Joyce says goat trail, she's not exaggerating. At times, you're up on the side of the mountain, and this thing is about 2 feet wide, and they have it paved with shale rock, a lot of anthracite coal in that area. And this is what this dude is paved with. And occasionally your foot slips right over the side, and occasionally the donkey's foot slips, and it's quite a little walk in. In the village itself, I took a number of photographs down there, not as many as I'd like to, because I feel a little funny about taking pictures. You know, what the hell, these people live there, and here's some dumbass American with a camera. But I took as many as I could, and you'll see them, of course, when we get back, and if any turn out really well, I'll send them on. But it's the most picturesque thing I've ever seen, I believe. It's stuck right on the side of a mountain. You're in more or less desert, like southwest U.S. desert, and then all of a sudden here's this little green oasis, and when you go in there, all of the homes are made out of rock and mud, flat roofs, and The donkeys with the straw on their back, they walk right across the roof of the house, and there's a hole in the roof, and they fire the straw down through the hole. I don't know what the hell they do with it down in there, but this is how they get it in. The people are very, very friendly. As a matter of fact, we had kind of a Zorba the Greek type thing there. One of the boys has got it on a movie film. This one guy came out with a great big bass drum, about 3 feet in diameter and about 8 inches thick. And another fellow had a flute. Not a flute. What the hell would you call it?
Well, it's an Iranian flute.
It was an Iranian flute. And he played this thing, and everybody started dancing, waved the handkerchief around. Oh, yeah, just the men, no women. And they weren't looking for money, because when they got through with the dance, they started to walk away, you know, and I shoved a handful of, well, all the reals I had in my pocket and change, I put it in the guy's pocket, and he looked like he really didn't want it. You don't really know what the hell to do in a case like that. But they're all friendly. They're laugh and have a hell of a good time, these people.
Not only that, one thing that I have noticed in this particular group, and they were all men, young men, there were maybe 2 or 3 older men. It's hard to tell because the men here don't go gray. It's very rare you see anyone with gray hair here. But they're all lean, and you very rarely see a fat Iranian, despite all their rice they eat, and very good looking. Most of them have lovely even features and are really strikingly good looking men. The women are fat, but that's the way the men like them. They don't like them skinny. They like them big busted and big hip. Marg, you and I are really in style here, I tell you. For that bust bit on you, that is.
Anyhow, the river wanders in through the village, and we followed it on up about 2 miles past the village. And 2 of the guys, one of the boys had his youngster with him. Was how old is Mike? About 15? And Mike is a little fragile, and they couldn't get him across the goddamn creek, so I said to hell with it. There was a beautiful pool right there, and the second cast with a wet fly, I really did catch one nice one. I'm letting the cat out of the bag here, I think, Kathleen. But anyhow, I got one good one. Yeah, I think it was the second cast, so to hell with her getting wet, they came across the creek. And that's about what you could call it, really. It's the size of the Willow Creek right there at the bridge at the farm, but it's a beautiful, beautiful river. Cold as ice. Everything is rock, hard country. The people are terrifically brown, almost tanned like you'd tan a hide, and wrinkled. Much the same as the southwest U.S., and the humidity is about the same, too. You perspire, but you don't notice it. It's gone. Our Gorbet is sitting right beside me here, and this is the wildest cat I've ever seen in my life. No claws, all teeth. This guy will take a running dive at you, and he's got you by the leg, all 4 legs around you, no claws out, but he bites like hell. 4 or 5 good shots. Of course, he gets a goddamn good shot right back every now and again, too.
I just wanted to say, this country that we just left up there, the stream is crystal clear, and the thing that intrigued me as much as anything was that the rocks, of course, this is, you know, the turquoise here is fabulous, the gemstones. I guess the best in the world comes from Iran. And the bottom of the stream, certainly we're not covered with gemstones, but with the most beautiful blue and green and pink and pale yellow and stones, and cast them in the bottom of the stream, but it was all the way down. It was really beautiful.
Not too much wildlife in the area. Large wildlife, lots of small stuff, but all kinds of wildflowers, wild roses. Joyce knows more about this than I do, but if you wanted to make rosehip jelly, I don't think it would take a half an hour to get a couple of pots full. All over. We could hear birds everywhere. Of course, we couldn't see them. And one of the fellows had binoculars, and we just couldn't find them anywhere. They sounded like grouse. No, Joyce saw the grouse, she says. And Bill Fishburne, one of the boys, saw mountain climbing birds, is what he said. These birds never got their feet off the ground. When they'd hit some shale that was a little too steep and slippery, well, hell, they'd just flap a little bit, but the feet were still on the ground, running up the damn hillside.
We went to an Armenian wedding since we talked to you people last, which was fantastic. I want to hit a Persian, or a Persian one before we leave, but this couple happened to be Armenian. We did not know the bride and groom nor their family, but one of the young lads that works for Bill knows that we're interested in the culture around here, and he sees us taking pictures and making notes and things like this. So he invited Bill to the wedding, and Bill said he was the best man, and got permission from the family to have us come to the wedding and take pictures. We haven't got them back yet, but we're waiting patiently for them. No, we haven't got them back yet. We must talk to Fardine about that.
Les Dosmati was here when we listened to your tape, and he just sat in the corner with his little old glass of vodka. We can't afford the scotch and the champagne, you guys. God damn. $18 for a bottle of scotch? There's no way. We drink vodka. $4.50. Anyhow, Les is sitting over the corner chuckling away. Jonesy and Moffat and the
No, I would.
Hello, everyone.
That's Victoria again. She didn't catch any fish, and neither did I, but we tried. Yeah, she got. Oh, yeah. Tell him about how he took your grub off.
Huh?
What did he do?
Well, I saw a fish in that hole,
Uh-huh.
and I put it in there, and then something snipped it off.
It snipped the line right in two, didn't it? Lost her plastic grub and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, while I was thinking of it, Mark, you were saying the price of things have gone up so tremendously there. I guess it must be a worldwide thing, because here, just since we've been here, now this is just a for instance that I'll give you. Eggs, a half a dozen of eggs were 20 reals, which is approximately 30 cents when we arrived. They are now 30 reals, which makes them $1 a dozen.
45.
Yeah, all right, but that's for 6 eggs. So it makes them almost $1 a dozen. And some things are tremendously expensive, like a box of cereal, which is and peanut butter, which are about the only American products I buy because we can't afford it. Peanut butter for a jar of Skippy is 325 reals, which is about $5 a jar.
More than that.
Well, all right, approximately $5 a jar. And a little box, not even the giant box, but a medium box of Fruit Loops or cereal, you know, that Victoria likes, Apple Jacks, is from 85, approximately 90 reals, which is about $1.50 a box. And those are the only two things I really do indulge in. But tomatoes are about 10 reals a kilo, which is about 15 cents for 2 pounds. I mean, it goes to the other
Ourselves, we're not getting out as much as we'd like to because we cannot drive. We've been prohibited by the company for a good reason, which I'll explain later. We're not getting around quite as much as we'd like to, but we are enjoying ourselves. We're seeing this, that, and the next thing. It'll take a couple of years to see everything we want to see, which we could do in a month if we were allowed a car. However, I think a few of us are getting a little homesick.
Well, that's inevitable. It's 9 months today since we arrived here, stopping to think about it. And as for Victoria getting an American accent or an Iranian accent, there is just no way because there are too many Americans here. And of course, she goes to the Tehran American School, which is strictly for, and now this will give you an idea how many Americans are in Tehran, strictly for holders of American passports, and they have had to split the school. There are now well over 2,000 children from first grade through high school here. So you can imagine how many families are here. It's fantastic. Bill tells me there's just un peu left on the...
It's getting close.
Is it? Oh. But there's no way she can possibly... Now, she's picking up quite a bit of Farsi and does a heck of a lot better at it than I do. That's for sure. Her accent is much better. Here, what...
Hi,
Said Prophet. She said Hodafis, which is goodbye, and Salam is hello if it happens to be speaking to a relative or somebody who is familiar. Otherwise, it's Sobaher, or there's 3 different greetings.
And Bedasag means son of a bitch. Don't forget that, Bill. Bedasag means father of a dog, and any way you put that, it's just like McKee, son of a one-eyed dumb dog. something like that.
We are homesick, of course, and it doesn't help to know that there's another 5-year job coming up right behind this one, though we don't have to agree to stay and probably won't, unless conditions change with transportation considerably. But we would be home anyway for a home leave long before anything like that happened. We are really, as Bill says, enjoying it. I've enjoyed every minute of it. I'm bowling now. I hope to lose some weight, but haven't so far. Climbing the rocks last weekend didn't help either. Now that Kathleen has her ears pierced, I'll bring her some golden turquoise earrings. That eliminates what I have to get for Kathleen before I come home, because they really do have some lovely ones here. I have found a pin, or several of them, that I want to get for Hulda, since she said there's an Iranian handicraft store, which everything is sold by the government, and they have some beautiful, gorgeous, dark turquoise. It's a vivid blue, not what we would call turquoise, but it's a vivid blue, dark and beautiful. And of course they do beautiful workmanship with gold here. So I found several pins I like. It's just working down to which one I like the best. Now, we talked to you about what you would like, Marg, but you'll have to tell us. There's lots of brass work and things and lovely things here. We bought far too much for ourselves, and I'm going to give a lot of it away because I can't get it all in the house.